There is a lot of evil in the world, and sometimes it's borderline unbearable, and the pain is horrible, and you just cannot fathom and understand how can something like this happen and keep happening? How can something like this be real? How can there be so much evil in the world? Why? How? And you can't get it out of your head, especially with the internet today. You learn about so many things that happen and that are awful and horrible. And you're there wondering, you know, what do I do with all this? This is pointless. But if I can say one thing, it's that even one person can make a change and a difference. Really, it's true. Even one person can make that change, can inspire others. And I know that from experience. And we are all equal in this world. And for sure, there are evil people that exist. But something really important needs to be said, and that's the fact that, as awful as it may seem, um, the majority of evil doesn't exist unless we're looking at horrible examples. The majority of the world is good, really. And if it wasn't, then, humanity wouldn't exist today. And we live in a rapidly changing world. This world is rapidly changing. And it's changing for the better, even if it may not seem like it. And we're a part of it. And I can guarantee you that in 40 and 50 years, this world will look completely different. Better, nicer, calmer. And just the way that we're going to get there is through unity. Unity with others that are like us. Because there is a lot of us. There are many of us, in fact. But what's really important is that even you can do the change. Even you yourself have the potential to really move things in a spectacular and incredible way. And when you see all these horrible, awful things happen, I like to think it all has a purpose. And while it may not be clear what that purpose is, these things have to happen. But that doesn't bring us down, does it? No. What we do is we keep going, because if we don't, then how can we make a difference? And sometimes lasting it out and really making it all the way to the end seems like an impossible task. But it doesn't last forever. Even things like fields and the skies and rocks and trees and silly jokes and little foods and drinks and activities and thoughts and ideas and dreams. That's enough to keep any person, if they were to come to Earth, fascinated by humanity and what we can do. And it can seem that, again, in a rapidly changing world, all is lost. And there's nothing we can do about it, but that's not true. When we all together can make a huge difference, we all together can make a very huge difference. And even you as an individual. This is something that is really important. And we happen to find ourselves at a time where we need to be here. We need to be here for those who may not see hope. Because it's when you find hope in that then you can find a reason to keep going, to look forward in life. And we're all different, and we all have our own stories. And things happen to all people, yes, and it's all okay and valid. Sometimes life is just a piece of shit. But to say that all is lost is not true. Because I can bet you that in 40, 50 years, this world will be completely different, transformed. So, what we are going through as a society right now may be difficult and hard to understand. Trust me when I say that even that small amount of hope really does mean something. It can lead to unity and friendship. And we can all create a place where we, you, me, and others can really show the world what it's all about. It's about peace, friendship, understanding, and unity. And as cheesy as it sounds. And as many horrible things as happen, and there are a lot of them, we can't give up on the good side of ourselves. And it'd be very easy and natural of us to become grand, to become big, to dream of things that are not ethical. Inside, we want to be monsters. Inside, we want to be mad, crazy, horrible people. And we want justice, and we want all of these things, and we want everything and everything good. And is that real life that we need right now? Well, maybe it is, but at what cost? At the cost of being horrible? Because in the end, good always wins. Evil doesn't last forever, even if it may seem like it. And it may seem like a fairy tale. You know, the good has to win and the bad has to lose. But if the opposite were true in the real world, okay, we wouldn't have existed for long as we have. It's just a matter of time. And hope and determination to keep going is the backbone of what will really show the best of us in the coming years. Even 10 years, 20 years, it's okay. Sure. We can't give up. We can't let a few individuals get in our way and show us that the world is awful. But if we can create a place of unity and peace, then the winners are us. Nobody else. So, my message to you is, don't give up. Keep going. Listen to your favorite song. Think about the things that people have done, created, made, and about the progress in the future that is ahead of us. Because it's really incredible. And I want to see you here in 10, 20, 30 years. I want to know that you've made it. I want to know that you have succeeded and that you have found hope. Because hope will get you through any hard time. So, go out somewhere, sing a song, sing along to yourself, dance like a crazy person, do anything that you want. Out here, you're free. And as bleak as the world may seem, and as horrible the things you find may be, don't lose hope. There are still many good people. And let's carry the pain that's been caused to the people unfairly, unjustly. Let's keep it in our hearts. And let's dwell on it and not forget about it. And let's understand it. But from these things, let's also learn a few important lessons. The lesson being that good always wins. And not for everybody. Okay? But despite that, we're still here. And we can make an important change so that those who, maybe by fate, may not be so fortunate in the future, can be fortunate because of us. Because history has proven even one person can make a difference. And a bunch of people who are determined together to make a difference and to show that there is not as much evil as good. Those are the people who are the future. And they're the future for other people. And no matter what, life will go on. And there will be suffering. And horrible things will happen. And some will never see the light of day. And some just do not understand. So, let's create peace. I know, maybe it's wishful thinking, but I really don't think it is. If we can show people that we are the ones who will change the future for the better, and who do not yearn for power, who do not wish for destruction, but people that wish for love, and many times just logical understanding and rational thinking, well, what can one really do against that? I don't think there's much they can do. So, let's never give up. Find your favorite song. Find your place. And try and enjoy the things that you'd never think you'd enjoy. The world may be a cruel place sometimes. But if we stay united, if we are still here, and if we become that example for other people to keep going, and to not let a few dumb people, maybe people who don't know they're doing a bad thing, if we let those people understand, and we outgrow those people, because again, evil doesn't win in the end, unless the good gives up. Let's keep those who have been lost in this world, let's keep them in our hearts. Let's not forget what they did. Let's go by their example. Let's lead the way for the people who may not be so fortunate to be able to enjoy the things in life. Let's never lose hope. And let's always be here for the people who are not fortunate enough. Let's keep good in our hearts. Even if we make mistakes. And some of us have made a lot of mistakes. and will make mistakes. That's for sure. But we can never give up. We can never lose our heads. Well, maybe we can a few times. But we'll bounce right back up. Because what else can we do? There's always hope over the horizon. And there's beauty everywhere. Let's not forget that we are important. Let's not forget the people like us who didn't make it. And let's carry them on until the very end. So, what I'd say is, I don't think the world is as bad as a place as it may sometimes seem. And the things happen for a reason. And it really hurts your heart. It really troubles your brain. And it's hard for some of us to understand how to deal with that. But your way to deal with that is precisely by bouncing back up and telling yourself that you'll make sure it won't be able to happen again. Because it's future situations and actions that will be able to soothe the pain. That will be able to prove logically to people, show that pragmatically these things work and are real. Don't be afraid of trying something incredible. Don't think you're not enough to do it. Because the secret in doing something incredible really is not believing that you can't do something incredible. Out of the hundreds of thousands of people, there is a significant amount which dreamed. They dreamed of big things, of good things, sometimes bad things. The only ones who succeed are those who really believe that they can be that change and that it's not just a dream. That really, it's all about hope and going forward while remembering the past, but not letting it eat you, because we're not going into the past. We're going into the future. There are children born every day. There are people, young people and kids raised everywhere around the world. There are many people going through hard times everywhere. There are all people suffering. And all of that is happening while we're here deciding, what role do we have in this world? Well, what if our role is making sure that the good people who may be suffering or who may suffer unfairly don't have to? And all we have to do is set a good example to the world. That's the only thing we have to do. If we lose hope, that will not happen. We have to find it in our hearts to see that vision. And once you see it, you can't really let go of it because it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right getting rid of it in your mind. That's a really good sign, because that means it's there. Now it just has to be realized. So it's up to you and me and others. And you have to keep going. Because we need you. You need yourself. So, don't let anything destroy you. And keep your head up. Good luck. My message to you is that I want to see you old. I bet you look great when you're old. When you're here in 20, 30, 40 years, who knows? I bet it's gonna be great. And don't lose hope, because we are change. That's what we are. We are change. And let it be. Keep holding on to the smallest, silliest things that exist, that keep you here, and that make you happy, because there's no shame in being happy, and there's no shame in being sad. There's no shame in any of that. So, how about we try and be the change of this world? Let's look up to the stars. And let's look on the roads and into the cities and villages. All those people are people too. Who the hell knows what kind of life they're living, right? Probably oblivious to the things that happen, or maybe no. Maybe they know everything that's happening and are experiencing it in a similar or the same way as us. Who knows? But we're change. We are what will change this world. And we will show the world that we can bring a positive impact. All right? So, keep your head up. Don't lose hope. And it's okay to be alone. But you're never lonely. All right? You've always got your nature here with you and the people around. You're never truly lonely. But maybe that's just silly things I'm saying. We are change. And we're going to show the world what kind of change we are. It's in our hands. We are responsible for this. So, keep going and be strong, because you can make it. Truly. So I want to see you in the coming years and long into the future. And I want to see that you've made it. Alright? We are change. Thank you. Well, hello. See, you're not alone in this world. There are many people who will listen to you, who will be affected by that what you do, and you may not even realize it. Sometimes the poison you have in your head, the poison you hold in your heart that you got from other people, could very easily spill onto other people and onto the world. When all you wanted to do was do the right thing. So you gotta stay alert, because you never know what could actually come out of your mouth. It could be something horrible, even though you had good intentions. Be very careful not to lose what you didn't think you could lose or didn't want to lose. But make the right call if you really believe what you're doing is right. Because sometimes hard things have to happen, or you will not get anywhere in life. Sometimes you have to let that cloud go, or else you'll stay stuck in the same place for eternity. Who the hell knows? Maybe not. But be careful and be mindful of the people that are in your life. Because sometimes, many times, they may be a burden on your back. They may be that cloud above your head. And you may not even know it. Do you really need this person? Even if you don't think you do, think twice and make the right call. Sometimes it may be way too late to make a decision like that. Because you may get stuck with a person for the rest of your life, and they'll keep draining you and poisoning you. Then, there's nothing you can do about it. You're lost. Reevaluate everything you have in life, and especially its people, because it's the people that actually make the biggest impact on who you are. And they'll betray you, and they'll hurt you. And there's nothing you can do about that other than forgive or let them go. And whether forgiveness, which is usually the wiser option, maybe not the best for you, but the wiser option, sometimes it's good. Think deeply about what you say and what you do. And think about what others do to you and say to you. Is it really worth it or not? That's all I'm saying. Think about it. And good luck. You find yourself at a crossroads, and you may do things that are not ethical and good. And you may think, what kind of a person am I? Am I a loser? Many times, no. You just do things that are silly. But there's a clear distinction in this world between good people who do bad things, and bad people who do bad things or good things. There's a clear distinction there. And if you can find it inside of you to know whether what you do is good or bad, then you shall not fear, but be aware of what you do and say, so that you do not become so rotten that you cannot be classified as a good person anymore, but only as a bad person who sometimes does good things. It's your core that matters, nothing else. Because in the end, it's who you truly are on the inside and what you truly feel. That is what's going to get you through life. That's where all the decisions lie. So be mindful and careful. And build yourself up in a way where you're not going to have to regret who you were all this time. One day you'll grow old. You'll be 50 or 60 or 70 if something doesn't happen. For God's sake, hopefully no. But if you do end up at that age, you must have by then realized that for you, meaning for life is either fun or a dream of a certain importance. There are two types of people in this world. Those who think and believe that fun is the meaning of their life. And then there are those who believe that the meaning of life is not fun, but that it is to achieve a certain goal that they have in their mind. And there is no wrong answer on what the meaning of life is, but it's those two things that distinguish two types of people in this world. So you gotta realize which one you are. If it weren't for people who believed fun was the meaning of life, then we wouldn't have any fun in this world. And if we didn't have the people who believed big, dreamed big, and believed that it was their life purpose to achieve this big thing, then we wouldn't exist as a humanity. We wouldn't exist in the way we know it, because no hard work would have been accomplished. No big things would have been accomplished. So make the right call. Who are you in this world? Nobody really sees themselves as the villains unless they're very self-aware. Just how self-aware are you? Just what do you want out of this world, and where do you see yourself in 50 years, 40? Where do you see the world in 40, 50 years? It's very important that you distinguish those things and have a moment of self-realization that maybe your life is not going in the right direction. That maybe there's more you could do, and there are maybe things you're doing that don't lead anywhere. Unfortunately, sometimes those things cannot be figured out right away. But as time goes on, you'll know if you made the right or wrong decision. But as long as you live, you've got all the time in the well, you don't have all the time in the world, but you've got plenty of time. And you can change the way that your life is heading. You just gotta have self-realization. Tell yourself you made a mistake. And keep going. Because that's how humanity works. That's how people work. We need to learn from our mistakes and become stronger. And whether somebody believes or doesn't believe that your dream can happen, they can't tell you. You gotta be the person who knows. Maybe they're right. Maybe it doesn't lead anywhere. But maybe they're horribly wrong. And guess what? Every big dreamer who has accomplished something has been told over and over again that their dream is stupid and too big, but actually, that's normal. Every big person gets that. And you'll get that too. And maybe you're not the kind of person who wants to do the big thing. Maybe it's not worth it. Maybe it's crazy. And without people like you, the world wouldn't exist either. All we need to do is have that self-understanding and the understanding of others. And self-understanding, of course, leads to understanding of others. When you understand yourself, it's much easier to understand others. It's the corners of the brain. Learn how you work and what you think. And then, don't be afraid. There's nothing to be afraid of after all. Right? Or is there? Well, there always is, but should it stop you? Well, that's That's up to you. And if no, all the power to you. Good luck. You can make it. And you can have fun in this life, too. Go and do what you want to do.
After searching, trying to find you, I thought I'd lost my luck. But I never thought in a million years that you would just walk right up. Now that I found your